just over a week ago, I asked you guys what you wanted to see in War Thunder, and I got a few responses, we'll say. And so today I thought it'd be a fun idea to go through and rank some of the most liked comments and say whether if I think they'd be a good idea or not, and just give my general thoughts on them. And you guys can discuss in the comments what you think and maybe suggest some more as well. The top comment on the video was by Timerex, with 256 likes, and they were saying they'd add a Polish tech tree. And this is something that I've seen a lot of people talk about, and there are a lot of repeat comments on this one where clearly there's a lot of people that want this, and I can completely get why. Poland, being where it is geographically, is in a bit of a rough spot in Europe where it's always been in the centre of a lot of the conflicts, and so especially with World War II, as we know, Poland saw a lot of fighting between the Germans and the Soviets, and obviously the Germans and Poland, and the Soviets and Poland. They really got the worst of all worlds, to be honest. But despite all of this fighting, they don't have that many vehicles in the game, and they're just part of subtrees. I think of Germany only, actually. I don't think anyone else has a Polish vehicle. And so there's a lot of missed like vehicles here that could be added. There's so many Polish operated vehicles, some of which being, Polish made ones, some of them being imports. Despite this, there's still a lot of things that could definitely be added that haven't been. And I think that is definitely a missed opportunity, especially if nations like Israel are going to get a tech tree that's really small and limited. I think a nation like Poland makes a lot more sense to add. And you could probably also group some smaller subtrees into there as well from other Eastern European countries. And I can definitely see this being a good addition. I'll rate this one an 8 out of 10 suggestion. The next one to come in is from L3 Enjoyer at 229 likes, and they say you should be able to test drive any vehicle and change that loadout, even if you've not unlocked a vehicle yet, in test drives, which I strongly agree with this, because I can see why they don't do it. Gaijin wants you to grind to get to these vehicles, but like, let's take the Eurofighter for example currently. Let's say I want to fly a Eurofighter, and like I see it in a promotional material for War Thunder, I really want to fly a Eurofighter, I download the game for the Eurofighter, there's no premium, so I can't buy or test drive it. The only way to get my hands on Eurofighter is to actually play the whole way through the game, grind the whole way to top tier, and then I can fly it. However, if you could test drive any vehicle, you could load up right now, and you could scroll to the bottom of the British or the German tech trees, whatever, and you can find the Eurofighter there, and you could just test drive it, fly it around for a bit, shoot down some NPC planes and stuff. And as I said, I get why they don't do this from like a monetary point of view and keeping players playing point of view, but like from an actual player experience point of view, and as someone who originally downloaded the game because I saw modern day promotional content on it and I wanted that, then I can relate to this theoretical player who played the game for the Eurofighter and then was disappointed when they couldn't get it right away. So I think this is a good suggestion for the players, not so much for Gaijin. I'll put it at a 7 out of 10 just because I'd like to see it, but I know it's never going to happen because Gaijin wants their money, which is fair enough, The next comment comes in from Canadian Syrup Bandit with 178 likes, and they're saying they want for APCs and helicopters like the Huey to be able to carry infantry. Now obviously this would only be once War Thunder adds infantry, if they do, which they might. I can definitely see them doing it. Obviously it's not actually confirmed, but they've got a track record of using April Fools to test stuff. I think that the infantry will be not player controlled, if I'm honest, and I think it'll be like the Chargers on the Order 1 game mode. But this comment raised up a really good point actually, and I would really like to see this. If you could play on a role of a troop carrier and you could have like a separate objective rather than capping the points, it could be like you need to drop off an anti-tank squadron here to help deal with other enemy armoured threats, which I think would be really cool and a really dynamic thing for them to add to the game, and would definitely change up from the slightly boring gameplay loop that we might have now. And so yeah, I think this is a really good idea, a really good suggestion. Obviously we need them to add infantry first, or maybe at the same time, that'd be cool. I think this also adds for a lot more possibilities for more like stuff War Thunder can do with the game, because like let's use the Huey for an example. If you can use the Huey to carry infantry, they could add like a proper, like, I know Vietnam map already exists, but they could add one with like really dense jungle, like really dense, and like you can fly into like a clearing and drop off troops, and like maybe do like a medevac mission as well. That'd be really cool. I'd really like to see something like that. So yeah, I'll give this suggestion like a 9 out of 10. This would be really nice to see. The next comment comes in from 246 Trinitromethi. Yeah, you get the idea. And they say that a map pool, instead of being able to ban some and favourite some, where you can instead focus on one map or a small pool of maps to learn timings and spots. Now, this is something that I can definitely see being added. I mean, I assume it would work something similarly to the competitive like map selection in Counter-Strike. You know, like you can check the maps that you want to be able to play and like leave out the ones that you don't want to be queued into. And I can definitely see this becoming a thing. But I think War Thunder has too many maps for this to work properly, where like, the player base would be too split up. So I think they'd have to limit the amount of maps for this. So maybe like having like one set of maps like 1 week and another set of maps another week or something. And then I feel like there'd also be a lot of players who aren't as interested in this and who would just press like, you know, have all the maps selected, just be happy playing whatever as the game is now. So I think that this is a good idea, but I don't know if it would actually be the greatest. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. The next one is from _Legendmaster, who says that they'd make Premium now the free-to-play multiplier, and they make slightly more expensive Premium with a better multiplier than before. So essentially, you're paying more for Premium, but you get a better multiplier over the free-to-play players currently, but the free-to-play players get put to where the Premium players are currently. And this is always going to be something I'm going to agree with. I mean, I'm not sure I completely agree with like how this would be implemented like this, but like I will always say yes to just a general increase of progression and of rewards. The game is so unfathomably slow, and I think that it would just be a lot better if, you know, people could play through the game faster and progress faster, because not everyone has several years of their life to dedicate to getting every single nation to top tier, you know, in both air, ground, and whatever hell, if anyone plays naval, you know. So it's like, I can completely get behind this. I completely agree. The game should always be made faster. Always. They should never slow down the pace of the game. And I strongly believe that they should make it faster than it is now. And I always think that for as long as the game lives. The next one from House Plays 10, they said there should be a new game mode for people who just want to grind, like a players versus bot game modes where the bots act like how they do in custom battles, but you get normal SL and RP rewards. Now, I can see where they're coming from with this. You know, again, it's going back to faster progression. I think having versus bots, especially like the bots in custom battles, which are complete like actual NPCs, I mean, like, they are, but they are awful at the game. So I think getting normal rewards from that would be really unfair against people who play the actual game. But I can see them adding a PvE game mode. I really think that they should add a proper PvE game mode, a bit like Heli PvE, but like combined arms. You know, give us like a properly good, thought out team PvE game mode, like Heli PvE, but with a bit more depth to it. And, you know, as I said, combined arms, got tanks and planes and all of that in it. I think that'd be really fun. You don't have to have the rewards being, you know, as good as actual gameplay is. I just think that'd be a really fun game mode to play, and if there's rewards to that, that'd be nice as well, you know. A little added bonus, but yeah, I think having the same rewards is not the way to go about it. I'm going to give the suggestion like I'll get a 6 out of 10, because I think we need the game mode, but I don't know about the rewards. So that was some of like the top comments from my short that I posted a couple of days ago. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think about their suggestions in the comments below. Let me know your suggestions in the comments below. And would you like to see these added or not, you know? If this is your first time here, or if you've seen me before but aren't subscribed yet, please do, it helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys next Monday for another video, or every day in between the short. Goodbye.